In this video, you will learn how to work with discounts, sales tax, and markups. A discount is the money taken off when a store marks down the price of an item. The regular price is 100%, but the sale price will be less than 100%. Example number 1. Shoes that are normally $130 are on sale for 55% off. How much money are you going to have to pay for those shoes? 100% of the price would be $130, but we get 55% off. So how much are we actually going to pay? 100% minus 55% is 45%. So we need to figure out what 45% of $130 is. There are many ways to figure out the percent of a number, but one way to do this is to multiply 0.45 times $130. Remember, 45% has to be changed to a decimal when you multiply it by the whole. When you multiply that, the calculator is going to say 58.5. But remember, this is money we're talking about, so we need to change this to look like money. $58.50. We saved $71.50. What a deal! The next thing we're going to talk about is sales tax. The state collects money based on a percentage of how much an item costs. That percentage of the cost of the item is added on to the total. The store collects it and then later pays the state. So to figure out your bill, you can add the total cost of the item plus the cost of the sales tax. A tip is the amount of money that you give someone to thank them for their service. Usually you will tip your waiter or waitress or your barber. Tips and sales tax are pretty much figured out the same way. Example number 2 calculates sales tax. If we have a bag for $13.99 and we have to pay 6% sales tax on top of that, how much tax do we have to pay? How much total will we have to pay? I'm going to show you 2 different methods for calculating the sales tax. The first way, we can take 100% of $13.99 and also 6% of $13.99 because the sales tax is 6% of the cost of the item. If you add together 100% and 6%, you can see we get 106%. So we can figure out 106% of $13.99. Let's change the 106% to a decimal. So 1.06 times $13.99. When we put that in the calculator, we get 14.8294. But remember, this is money, so we have to make sure it looks like money. Money is rounded to the nearest hundredth. I see 14.82, but the next digit is a 9, so we need to round up. The total amount we will pay for this bag is $14.83, including tax. Same example, different method. Method number 2 will have us find 100% of $13.99 and then separately find 6% of $13.99 to figure out what the sales tax is. 100% of $13.99 is easy. It's just $13.99, so we really didn't have to do anything there. Then we find 6% of $13.99 and get 84 cents. Hint, change it to a decimal, 0.06, then multiply by $13.99. So 0.06 times $13.99 is 0.84. And then you add those together for $14.83. In method 1, we added together 100 plus 6 to get 106%. And we figured out what 106% of $13.99 was. In method 2, we separately figured out 100% of $13.99 and then 6% of $13.99 and added those together. Whichever one works for you is perfectly fine. Usually when we tip a waiter or waitress, we don't pay attention to what the cost of the meal was before tax. We just look at the total. So let's take a look at what a $50 meal with 7.5% sales tax and a 20% tip is going to cost you. We can start with 100% of that $50 meal and add 7.5% of $50. So the tax would be $3.75. If you don't remember how to figure that out, remember to change the percent to a decimal, 0.075 times 50. So we could have just added 100 plus 7.5 and gotten 107.5% of $50 and then figured that out. Or we can do it how we just did, 100% of 50 plus 7.5% of 50 and add those together for $53.75. So that's what your bill is going to say. But don't forget your poor waiter or waitress who really needs a tip. So we need to figure out 20% of $53.75. 20% as a decimal is 0.2 times 53.75 is going to give you $10.75 for your tip. When you add all that together, your meal cost you $64.50. Might as well round that up to $65 and throw your waiter a little extra. The next topic in this video is markups. Markup is the term for the amount of money a store increases the price of an item so that they can make a profit. The stores have to make a profit, otherwise they would go out of business and we wouldn't have stores to buy things from. The selling price the store puts on that item is going to be more than 100% of how much they bought it for. Example number 4, a $35 jacket is marked up 95%. So we need to figure out how much they're going to sell this jacket for. If they only sold it for 100% of $35, they wouldn't make any money. So the store marks up the jacket 95% of $35. When you look at the price tag on that jacket, it's going to say whatever 195% of $35 is. So we could figure out 195% of 35, or we could add together 100% of 35, which is $35, plus 95% of 35, which is $33.25. Add those together for $68.25. That's what the price tag will say. Don't forget you're going to have to pay tax when you get up to the register. We won't figure that part out right now, though. In these last 2 examples, we're going to find out the original price. So in example number 5, a hat discounted 45% is on sale for $32.95. How much was it before it was discounted? A discount means we take away a percentage from 100%. 100% minus the discount of 45% means that we're going to be paying 55%. In other words, $32.95 is 55% of the original price. We could put this in equation form to solve it. $32.95 equals 0.55 times what? Or maybe you prefer to set it up like a proportion. $32.95 out of what equals 55%, 55 over 100. Either way you choose to solve it, you should end up getting $59.91. That's the original price before the sale. Example number 6, a t-shirt marked up 30% to $24.99. So the store is selling this shirt for $24.99, but they marked it up 30%. So we are trying to figure out how much the store purchased this for. They bought it for 100% of their price and then marked it up 30%. So 100% plus 30% makes their selling price 130% of what they purchased it for originally. In other words, $24.99 is 130% of the original cost. Maybe you solve this by equation. $24.99 equals 1.30 times what? Or by proportion, $24.99 over what is 130%. No matter which way you choose to solve this, you should get $19.22 for the original price. Always think about what the question's asking you and make sure your answer makes sense. If a t-shirt was marked up 30% to $24.99, does it make sense that the store bought it for $19.22? Now you know how to work with discounts, sales tax, and markups. Thanks for watching.